What's up, guys? It's Simon. So I finally have some time to do a video. Well, if you're seeing this, that's the remains of a pimple. There's nothing I can do about that. But it's been a while. I feel like it's been longer than it should be. I was trying to do some catch-up videos, and between having to get stuff done in the morning and running out of daylight, and then some storms were catching up. I know we had a storm, not yesterday, but the day before. Um, so I was trying to catch up on some videos and comment on people's videos and stuff like that. And yeah, I honestly, if I wasn't able to record this morning, I was probably gonna record this evening. I really want to try and make good quality videos for you guys. So I'm trying to do it where there's good lighting. But at the same token, I don't want to cost you guys not having a video to watch because of lighting. So anyway, I'm not going to ramble about that. That's why I've been MIA. I can't talk today. That's going to help with the video, right? Anyway, so you probably can tell that we're going to be trying to continue with the YouTube Picking Challenge. I am going to catch up until this week. I don't know if I'm going to bother with the follow-up videos. I might just throw them in with the question. But without further ado, let's get started with the video. So, today is week 10, and we are going to be talking about the question, do you keep a journal/diary of your beliefs, practices, yada yada. This one isn't going to have a follow-up video. I was thinking about doing one, talking about the Book of Mirrors, but I think that would just be redundant because the Book of Mirrors is kind of my answer. So, I do keep a journal/diary. I also kind of call it a notebook. For me, that's, excuse me, what the Book of Mirrors is. It's a witch's notebook/journal or diary where you record your experiences, and also where you will kind of take notes on things that you learn in the practice. This is kind of like I guess the intermediate Book of Shadows or Book of the Craft or Grimoire or any of that. This is a good method for anyone who is struggling on what to put in their book. Just get yourself some random notebooks or whatever, spiral bound journals, whatever, it doesn't matter, and use them as a Book of Mirrors. And then while you're figuring out what type of Book of Shadows or Grimoire or Book of the Craft or whatever it is you want to get, you can be collecting information. That's what I did for what was it? I think the first year? Yeah, the first year, when my year and a day when I was practicing, or rather studying, I just got a bunch of notebooks. This one, I found that sticker, and I just decided to put it on here. This, as, it's backwards, but it's a Mead 5-star. I think it was like $1. This was my very first Book of Mirrors, and it was, as I say, volume 1. And then I just, evolved into, this is 2 and 3. That's burlap covers. I got 2 of the same for 2 and 3. I think they were the last 2 there. And then I got a Dollar Tree one. So this was pretty small. This is volume 4. And then I personally, I like this one because of the cover, and it was $1. But I choose to get thicker, more journal-like books, just because I write so much information in them, and I plan spell work and incense ideas and stuff like that. Then I went on to do volumes 5 and 6, and these came with little ribbon tabs, and this is the one I'm on now, volume 6. Again, it has ribbon tabs, or rather bookmarks. So that's what you can do if you're kind of questioning on what to put in your book and worrying about messing it up and all that. If you're doing it by hand, you're most likely going to mess up. Just gonna put that out there. It's not to be negative, it's not to be rude, it's not to scare you, but we're human beings. You're gonna mess up. Most likely, witches in the old day, they messed up on their books too. Maybe they glued something in that they didn't want in there, or I don't know, there could be a multitude of reasons. That's probably why they had ripped up papers, why we get the idea to have ripped up, burned papers in there, because they would cover it over with that paper. So, don't be afraid to mess up. In my book, book that I'm going to actually pass down to my children, I'm writing in pen, and there are some scratch outs. There are sometimes with the way I stained the paper, and this cheap Dollar Tree pen that I use, I'm able to erase it to a good point and write over it. So, even though it's not an erasable pen, it happens to work out that way. Um, but sometimes I'm not able to erase it and I just have to scratch it out or, write over it darker. And, that just gives it character of it being hand done. And if that really bothers you, then consider typing it. Don't be afraid to type it or maybe make it text messages or something like that. The sun just shined a little brighter, so getting a little illuminated over here. Woot woot. But yeah, that's really what the answer is. I do keep one. I keep it as a book of mirrors. I'm not going to share my entries, but I do put some journal entries in here. Anything that I find profound, I will put a journal entry in. Like in my first book, my first entry was a journal entry, and so any type of notes I have, like I have some caveats in here, and I have a herbal toner tincture, which I no longer use, but that was really fun. And when I knew some pregnant women, I came up with the baby blessing. So it's a good way to be able to reflect on your path, which is why it's called the Book of Mirrors. I was going to try and find a picture on a Facebook post I saw it was called Book of Mirrors. It was a simple post. It was white, and Book of Mirrors was written in blue, and then there was a little brief definition that was in black, and it was a perfect explanation of what a Book of Mirrors is. But unfortunately, I couldn't find it. So basically, what it is that it's your journal or diary, whatever you choose to call it, and it can also be a notebook. Now, I know a lot of people like to say the Book of Shadows is that. For me, the Book of Shadows is like the final copy, so to speak. It's where you put all your sure, definite, you're always going to come back to spells and rituals, potions and brews, and all of that good stuff. That's what it is to me. And the same goes for the Book of the Craft and the Grimoire. Well, actually, I do see the Grimoire a little different. The Grimoire is more of a not a handbook, but I guess you could say like a witch's textbook. It's going to be more of information. How do I say this where it doesn't sound confusing? Okay, so to me, the Grimoire is something that you could use for like your year and a day or for your studies. So to me, if Witchiversity was turned into a book, it's a Facebook group, by the way. I'll try and remember to link it below if you guys are interested and you want to try and check it out. I don't know if anyone still posts on there anymore. I know I fell behind on reading the posts and stuff like that, but to me, if Witchiversity was turned into a book, it would be considered a grimoire, in my practice and belief, because it teaches you and you practice through the book as you're learning and everything like that. Whereas the Book of Shadows or the Book of the Craft is more of a record keeper that you go back to when you want to re-perform those rituals and spells and remake those potions and brews. The grimoire is more of, like I said, that witch's textbook that teaches you how to practice, so to speak, or gives you the foundational steps to walk on, so you can figure it out for yourself how you want to practice. And then the Book of Mirrors, like I said, is that witch's journal slash notebook that you can use while learning from the grimoire, and while, putting in some information and spells that you may want to consider putting in your Book of the Craft or Book of Shadows. And that's why you saw all these tabs, because these are things that I want to write into my Book of the Craft. So every one of them has tabs. I went through the whole thing and I tabbed it all. I even wrote some notes on some of the tabs, like this one. I don't know what it says. Say on the day when dumping. Oh. So with some of the things, I added a note that I want to add to when I put it in there, put it in my book. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you these again. They were not very expensive. I think the most expensive one was $10, and it was these. And they have like the gold pages. This would be something good if you wanted a travel or a small Book of Shadows, Book of the Craft. It has those ridges on the back. I think it has 4. Yeah, it has 4. It comes with 2 ribbon bookmarks, which is really good because most only come with 1. And this I got at Walmart. And this is the cover page. So it has that little writing section in there. And this is just a personal preference. I prefer to get Markings by C.R. Gibson. So it always pretty much has that logo. I'm trying so hard, but it's really difficult to do this one-handed. So that's a little logo thing there. And I'm trying to remember. That's what that one and this one are. This one, it's a little faded, but it has 3 arrows on it. That was a quill and ink bottle. I believe this one. Alright. Sorry about the guys that cut off on me. But what I was about to say is, these burlap ones are by the same company, I guess. And it's Markings by C.R. Gibson. And so it has this little muslin bind cardboard burlap covering. I think this is stamp work. And then what's really awesome is the inside pages. So, oops. That's pretty much what they look like. So, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think these were like $5, $6, maybe 7 tops. Like I said, you don't have to pay a lot for your books. I wanted to get slightly special ones, but you can just get Dollar Tree ones, or if you want, you can, during the school time, when they bring out all their notebooks and stuff like that, and you can buy those, and then they have major clearances. Like, I think when I got this one, it was on clearance and it was 50 cents, maybe $1. Actually, it was 97 cents. That's right. So you don't have to spend much to get yours. Honestly, I suggest that you save as much money as possible to get your final book, to make your grimoire, or to make your Book of Shadows, or make your Book of Craft. That's just my opinion, though, my suggestion. You do whatever feels right for you. Like every video, do what feels right for you, and remember to think outside the cauldron. And as always, thank you for watching, and blessed be my dear witchlings. Please like and share my business Facebook page, The Sacred Circle. Feel free to leave a message if you want an oracle reading or a spell to be cast for you. Thank you, and blessed be.